program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the middle of the African bush. We are on a live safari. Those are elephants, and this is Safari Live. Ready.
Standing by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Well, we've come across a highly mobile herd of African elephants. Now, what I'm hoping is they're going to move towards some water and might be splishing and splashing and having mud baths shortly. So we're going to try keep an eye on them. Isn't this wonderful? This is live, and remember, questions at WildEarthTV or hashtag Safari Live if you'd like to ask myself or Taylor any questions. There's Taylor and Dave out on Wendy, and of course there's myself, Brent, and my cameraman is Jean-Ray. And Jean-Ray has lost our aerial so far. It has fallen down, so fortunately it's such a powerful aerial, we're still submitting. Now those Ellies are going to move into some thick bush, but I think they're heading towards a little water. Ooh, talking elephants as well. Ooh. You see the wind's picked up quite a lot. Is that a big Ellie bull up ahead? Let's go investigate. So we're going to try to see where these elephants are heading. But isn't this exciting? A live African safari, and off with the bang with one of my favorite creatures out here, the African elephant. Or, if you go down to its scientific name, and most scientific names are a combination of either Latin or ancient Greek. And of course scientific names are there for a reason. And of course there's so many diverse languages through the world. And even within areas, animals are called different things. So from a scientific point of view, in the scientific community, they are able to have one name that is used solely, and everyone understands what it is. Now, of course, the elephant is Loxodonta africanum. So that's actually no ancient Greek in there, that's all Latin. And Loxa, long, donta, teeth, and africanum of Africa. So quite an apt scientific description for the African elephant. Okay, those eddies were moving through here, and they were moving quite quickly. So even if we don't catch them right here, I'm pretty confident we're going to catch them around on Weaver's Nest. So while we try to catch up with this nice big herd of elephants, let's go say good afternoon to Taylor.
Hello and welcome to another very windy sunset safari. My name is Taylor, and on camera I've got Davy, or Downpour Dave as some of you may know him. Now, I know you must have all missed me this morning. I missed you, and I had a lovely lie-in case you were wondering what I was up to this morning. No, I'm just teasing. Always hard at work here, out in the wilderness. Now, my plan this afternoon is to try and follow up on Karula and her cubs. I believe it was very exciting with Jamie and the unsuspecting wild dogs coming in to come and say hello. Now, we've just managed to find the 2-track as to where the sighting apparently is. We're going to go on it and see where it leads us. Now, I haven't been to the sighting just yet. However, I'm very excited because I haven't really seen Karula's cubs just yet. I saw them very briefly after drive one day, but they were up the tree and I couldn't see them properly. But I cannot wait. So we're just bumbling through here, though it's not too thick. It's quite nice and open. Ooh. And oh my goodness, I'm having a sword fight with the aerial, everybody. Don't want to lose an eye. So it's interesting weather that we're having at the moment. It's very hot, very sort of humid weather. I'm just deciding where we go. Let's take this one. There's 2 loops. And it feels like something is brewing in the air. I'm not sure what is brewing, but something. And hopefully a thunderstorm. Now, the temperature's already changing. It's already a little bit cooler since the last hour. The temperature has dropped quite a bit, which is quite nice. So I'm also just having a little look around here in case I don't miss where these leopards are, because I believe it was quite thick vegetation. So just having it going very slowly through here. Possibly, we've got some guesses. A few of the team members think that we're possibly going to get some rain this evening, which I'm hoping for. Once we're back from drive, however, it would be nice to actually watch the storm build up. And then I think we might get some rain tomorrow, though, or the early hours of the morning. Where are you, leopards? Okay, everybody, so I've gone very quiet, but I am just scanning along this drainage line because this is where Karula was yesterday, and I don't know where it was, so I don't want to have to turn around and come back. So just take it nice and easy along here. If you see her, let me know. Right, now this is looking quite familiar from all the footage that I saw. Are you alright? Then we're going to go under some trees. You good? We've got a big aerial on the back so you can all pick up signal. Right, let me just have a quick look through here. Can't see her just yet. Right, where are you? Don't worry if you hear any banging and clanking, it's just a few small trees, sort of stumps that I think the elephants have taken care of a few years ago. Now just bumping underneath the vehicle. Where are you, leopard? Also just looking for any fresh tire marks, if I can see them going to the edge of the drainage, but I don't see anything just yet. So possibly it's still a little bit further on. I'm probably going to have to ask someone that's already out on drive as to where these leopards were. Goodness gracious, everybody. I need to do a bit of investigating around here. I haven't seemed to find out where they are just yet. But while I do this, let's go see how Brent's elephants are doing.
So we had to stop to do some running repairs, but the amazing thing about the bush is if you stop and look carefully anywhere, you're going to find something interesting. So while we were doing some running repairs, I noticed on this branch here, now this has been made by a wasp. A single female wasp has constructed this massive sort of high-rise apartment building for her eggs. Now this is really cool. We don't really find them intact like this too often. So it is disused. The babies have already hatched. So what I'm going to do is I think we probably would like it for the tent. So I'm going to trim the branch a little bit. Okay. I'm trying to be very careful also with this wind, that these can be quite delicate. Let me just get that one out of the way. I Ow! Ow! That was really sore. Okay. Oh, that was being delicate with the wasp nest, but not with my hand. Ow! Okay. So it's actually quite heavy. Now, the reason I know it is no longer in use, and I have to be quite careful with this to get it back intact, is because you can see those holes there. Now, this will be one of the mud dauber wasp species. I'm not 100% sure which one. And let me just jump in the car and I can have a closer look. So what happens is this is now a perfect defensive spot for the little babies to grow up in. But of course, when you're little and you wake up, you're quite hungry. Oops, sorry, that's my head. So when you're little and you wake up and you're quite hungry, so this female wasp, probably looking at the size of this could be one of the bigger wasps. Bigger wasp species, maybe a spider hunting wasp. They normally bury, but there are species that build like this. So this would have either been filled with little caterpillars or inchworms, or spiders, or other insects that this wasp had managed to immobilize. She would have laid a single egg in each of those little creatures while they were still alive, and then encased them in this. So when her larvae woke up, they have a huge, massive buffet, and they'll eat through those, and that'll enable them to get enough strength to burrow out of the mud and then take off. Now, looking at this mud, I even know where it comes from. Now, it's also where we are. We're very close to the treehouse waterhole, and I think before the rains, oh, so delicate. I'll find my jersey to put it in so we don't break it. And James will be quite excited to see this when he gets back. Here we go. Okay, very delicately put there. So I think it's from the treehouse waterhole, which is just ahead. Now, it has put us a little bit behind those Ellies. We'll see if we can catch up with them. But it is really amazing that everywhere you look, there is something amazing. Oh, wind's picking up again. It's been quite a topsy-turvy day in terms of temperature and weather. Started off very warm and humid with a few raindrops this morning, and it got really hot during the middle of the day. Maybe went up to about 90 Fahrenheit. Now it's dropped down. We're probably just below 90, sort of 85 to 88. And I was hoping those elephants might cut through towards Treehouse, but they haven't. So we're going to go check down towards Weaver's Nest. So we've got those wonderful deep indentations here that water seeps through at the treehouse waterhole. So that's, I think, while it was so dry, where this wasp managed to extract mud from. There we go, you can see them. They were dug by elephants. And so there's a natural movement of water under the ground there. And I think that's how this wasp was able to get enough mud, even during the very much the dry period, to build this incredible enclosure for its babies. So those elephants were moving southeast. Now, of course, there's that wonderful bunch of pans and water holes around Chele Pan and Spaghetti Junction, that area. Now, I've really been looking forward to seeing some elephants play in the mud. Okay, so we're going to speed up a little bit, try catch up with those Ellies, and while we do that, it seems like Taylor has arrived in the last position of a very elusive cat.
We have found the carcass. However, there are no leopards here, not that I can see. Oh, hang on. Maybe I can see a leopard. I can see a leopard, everybody. David, I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Everyone, I just want to try and explain to David. You see the big tree behind where the kill is?
Yeah.
There's a leopard just sitting to the left. Let me go forward a little bit. I don't think we're going to see her very well. She's behind lots of trees. Can you see the face? Very, very hard to see the face. Yeah, there we go. Straight. There. Can you see just to that thing over there? Yeah, you can see the leopard, everybody. And now I presume that is Karula because it looks quite big. Fantastic. Now we can see some movement, so it seems as though she's grooming herself. Now, big yawn. And then she rolled over. That's a bit rude, don't you think? No, come on, come and show us how you're going to feast on this almighty kill. Now, the carcass is starting to smell a little bit, everybody. Not bad, though. It's not unpleasant just yet. So I'm very happy that we managed to see her. Because when we arrived, I couldn't see anything. There was absolutely nothing here. So I think she was laying flat on that bank. But now she's got her head up. Now, I don't know how long she's going to keep her head up for. Possibly it was just because we came through here and she heard a bit of noise, and maybe she thought we were going to try and steal her kill. I'm not sure what's on Karula's brain today. But I am going to be optimistic and hope that she comes towards us, which will be quite exciting. And I'm so envious of Jamie this morning, but I'm also so happy for her that she got to see such an amazing interaction as those wild dogs came chasing through. That's quite phenomenal. That's really special when you get to see something like that. And then I love the fact that Karula went in and grabbed the little leftover carcass, I think it was an inyala, and then took it up the tree. But I think that they've eaten that because I can see, can you see that little small bit of spine or something just sitting lower down on the branch? Yes. I think that's the leftover, or what was left of the inyala. So it looks like they've maybe devoured the last little bit. And possibly the cubs are with her on the other side of this big bank as well. Now, Aubrey's also going to come through, and Aubrey's going to come along the southern end of the bank, so where Karula is sitting. So we'll see. If he says that it's a great visual, then we'll definitely go around that way. But I'm also quite reluctant, because if she has got her head up and she has been yawning, she did give herself a little groom. We all know this, so that's an indication that she's possibly going to wake up and maybe come and feed again, or maybe go for a drink of water. So we will just be a little bit patient. There's nothing worse than going around and repositioning for her to only get up and walk down the other side of the bank again. And you saw when we came moving through here, and you saw how Jamie has been struggling and all the other guards to try and actually get a look at her. It's very thick here. It's quite tricky terrain. Oh, here we go. She looks like she's moving a little bit. Come towards us. It's very hot today, everybody. I can't explain. It's uncomfortable. Normally it's just a very hot heat, dry heat, but today it's extremely humid. And that's why I think that we're going to hopefully get some rain either tonight or tomorrow morning. But not during safari time. So let's hope for the rain to be in between, either while we are all resting or perhaps during game drives. I like coming out. We all like spending time with these wonderful animals. It's amazing though. You look through here. I can't believe that I saw her through all of these branches and things. There we go. Another big yawn. You can see the flies are also bothering her quite a bit. And typically on these hot, humid days, the flies are terrible, particularly terrible. But she's panting to try and cool herself down. I just want to quickly tell Aubrey that I have got a visual of Karula. So if you can just give me one moment. Aubrey Taylor. Aubrey Taylor. Ooh, she's getting up. Orbs, I've got visual of Karula, but she is on the southern end of the bank, so I think come around and you'll probably get visual of her. I'm going to hang tight on the northern side. Can hear Aubrey's vehicle now coming through, but she's looking more and more awake now. So perhaps she has been resting most of the day, and like I said, the temperature has definitely dropped a few degrees Fahrenheit in the last hour. And the wind is starting to pick up. At one point today, it was extremely uncomfortable because there wasn't even a breeze. And in that high humidity, it wasn't fun. I'm not 100% sure what the humidity levels was, but it felt like more than about 60%, so it was quite warm and sticky. Come on, Karula, bring your cubs this way. We want to see them. I haven't seen them yet. So she's just looking around. I can hear Aubrey's vehicle coming through. I think they do have a better view that side. But I'll just wait for Aubrey to give me the go-ahead. Now I'm tossing and turning. I don't know what I should do. If I should. I think let's give it another 2 or 3 minutes waiting here and see if she does anything. And if she doesn't, then I think we will make the long route around and try and get a better shot of her. But you know what, if she does come here, we've got a perfect view. If she were to climb the tree and feed on that bushbuck, it'll be amazing. So that's also the thing, I don't want to give up, because we've got the best spot in that sense. But we will give it a few minutes. Patience, everybody. Patience is a virtue. There's nothing truer in the bush. Just remember, everybody, we are on a live safari. So if you have any questions, you are welcome to chat to myself or Brent, and you can either do that by asking your questions on Twitter and then adding the hashtag Safari Live, or you are welcome to send us an email if you don't have Twitter. The email address is questions@WildEarthTV, and I look forward to hearing some of you. So we're sitting with Karula at the moment. If you perhaps just started watching a little bit later than you normally do, maybe you're making a cup of coffee or something, but it's okay. Karula's testing our patience today, so you haven't missed too much. And we haven't seen any sign of the cubs just yet, but we're waiting. You can just see the spots hiding between all the trees. But I think they even possibly have an obstructed view too, because I'm just trying to see, there's quite a lot of trees surrounding her. She's got herself a nice little thicket, and I can hear their vehicle moving again, so perhaps they're all having to have opportunities to view this leopard row by row. I don't think it's ideal, but there's not many leaves on all of these trees, and it was, like I said, it's been extremely hot today, so she would have needed to find some shelter to rest underneath to try and avoid that horrible heat, and also to try and avoid the flies. I think it's a good little spot that she's got. Not great for us, but at least you can say you saw a leopard today. Half a leopard. That could actually just be one of the wonderful ladies in Final Control in a leopard suit laying there. So everybody, I'm going to just sit here for a little bit longer, and perhaps by the time you get back to me, I would have repositioned. Let's go to Brent for a little update.
I'm doing splendidly. I've found some more elephants. And these guys have already been a splishing and a splashing. I've missed my elephant mud bath again. Hello, little man. Don't you look very dark with all the mud on you? So we're in the dry riverbed, and it's called the Mawati. And so far I can just see two, and there's probably a few more about. Nice big cow at the back. It's going to come out into view shortly. There she is. Getting stuck into that very thorny knob thorn. Crush. Snap inches. The little one closest to us is actually looking for grass that's growing underneath all that fallen vegetation there. You see the green in his mouth there that he's picking from between all the dry, dead branches. Using his trunk to sniff out the tastiest morsels. How tiny those little things he's feeding upon. I mean, that's how incredibly dexterous an elephant's trunk is. Come a bit closer to us. Hey, little man, young bull, probably around 4 or 5 years old. Doing a good job at mowing the lawn. Amazing eating machines, even though they're... Oh! No, we're going to carry on, but Karula's come out into the open and she's looking for the babies.
Finally, Karula has awoken, and I have to say thank you to Rebecca and Louise in Final Control for singing a nice song about Karula, which encouraged her to get up this afternoon. But look at this, isn't this incredible? She's going to jump right up. I'm so happy. Wow, look at the power as she jumped up that tree. She didn't even put any effort into that. It's incredible. Now, patience is a virtue, everybody, like I said. That is amazing, everybody. Take a few screenshots of her up in that tree, especially when she looks over the branch at you. It's a very nice, creative shot. And she was also calling for her cubs, and it seems as though her cubs could possibly be north of us somewhere. So I'm also looking over my shoulder consistently, just trying to see when they're going to pop out. Come on, girl, make your move. Oh, wow. Look at that. Unbelievable. Did you see all the flies? Wow, she's right above us, everybody. This is very cool. But don't worry, we're safe. Don't need to worry about David and I. Isn't this amazing? This is really special, everybody. I'm wondering, it's going to be very difficult to try and see her face, but let's let her pluck the hair a little bit and get comfortable before I try and reposition. Just having a little look. Could possibly go a little bit further. We do have a bit of a drop, but we can try. This is quite spectacular. And I'm so happy that she was quite relaxed with us sitting here. I was wondering if I was going to perhaps have to move away. But I think the fact that we held our position and we didn't move around at all, it just shows that she's very, very happy with us. Because I know she can be a little bit feisty, especially in such tight quarters like this. Now, it's hard for you to hear, but I can hear her actually plucking the hair. And you can almost see some of the hair dropping as she pulls it out. There still seems to be quite a bit of meat left on this bushbuck. So perhaps they'll still be here tomorrow morning. Well, it depends if her little greedy gutses come in and eat it all. Then maybe they'll be finished tonight. You see all those flies that have been hanging around. See how she's shaking her head now? Got a bit of fluff stuck in her mouth. Now, good afternoon, Jason. Thank you so much for watching the show, and I hope you're enjoying this amazing moment with Karula. Now, Jason was asking, how far away would those cubs go from Karula, and would it be possible that they go for a drink on their own? Now, Jason, I think they're a little bit young still to just go off on their own to have a drink. I know yesterday afternoon you saw it with me, with those lion cubs coming out and having a drink, but the adults were quite close. They were about 50 meters away, so they weren't far at all. So I'm not sure exactly how far Gallagher Pan is from here. I don't think it's too far, but it's a bit risky. It's very thick. It's not quite sort of out in the open, and I think Mom would never let them wander off. So I reckon they're within 100 meters or so. In the area, maybe even closer. I haven't seen them. She keeps looking behind us and calling, so perhaps she got sick of them today. That's often what we see, where they bite and they get a bit too much, and all Mom wants to do is have a rest, and she'll often take them somewhere, drop them, tell them, you stay there for a little bit and I'll call you when you can come for dinner. I think that's possibly the case. Now, I must tell you a story, though. So there was and I think I've told the story about this leopard before, Lisbon, who was Queen of the South, in the southern sector of the southwestern corner of the Sabi Sands, and she was interesting. She's a lovely leopard, very calm, but her cub that she had, unfortunately, he was not very relaxed until he got a bit older, and she used to call and call for 20, 30, 40 minutes at a time, and this cub would come running out from miles away. It was quite amazing. So it is possible for Mom to stash a cub quite a distance away and then carry on. But that little one knew it had to stay put and not go too far. But it didn't like to respond when Mom called it. And it seems like Karula's cubs are doing the same thing. They don't want to listen. But maybe they're quite strategic, these young cubs. Maybe they're waiting for Mom to defer, or dehair, sorry, this bushbuck, and then they may be going to come through after that. Very clever. Then they don't have to do any of the hard work. They've just got to come and eat. What do you think, David, if I maybe go back a little bit?
That'd be great.
Okay, right, everyone. I'm going to very quickly reposition. So just bear with me for 2 seconds. Ooh, come on, Wendy. Yeah, we're going to go back. And she's still very calm. She's not bothered by us at all, which is fantastic. This is amazing. There we go. I'm going to make sure that there's enough space for the other vehicle to have a look too. I think that's all right, and I'm sure that they will squeeze in. Now we can see her head, everybody. And we can watch what she's doing. We're getting covered in bushbuck here, everybody. It's raining down on us. But she's pulling all that hair out. Seems like they've eaten her back legs. quite a bit of it. Oh, no, she didn't like that. There you go. Can you see all that hair dropping from her mouth? Ugh. Bless you. I would also sneeze if I had a mouthful. You can even see a tuft of hair on the side of her right side of her face. There we go. Look at all those flies. That's all on that stick. That is terrible. I just think it's incredible how animals don't mind the flies as much, but I would die. I couldn't do that. Now, looking at the tree that she's in a tamboti, everybody. Now, it looks very, very high, doesn't it? Now, I know Connie was wondering how high we are off the ground. It's not that bad, actually. She's in a tree that's growing from the side of a bank. I reckon she's probably about 4 meters off the ground, maybe 4.5 meters. Oh, so not that high. I mean, I've seen leopards that are 5 or 6, maybe even higher on the tip tops of trees. Remember that day when that young female lioness chased Tingana up the tree? He was standing right on the tippy top. He must have been almost 10 meters up. What has she got there? She's got the tail. Very special. See how she's just looking around? Possibly she's going to give a little call. No. Thought she was maybe going to look up and call again for her cubs. Well, I think we're going to hang around for a little bit. Doesn't seem like there's too much pressure on the sighting, which is great for us. So let's jump on the back of Brent's vehicle.
There's a gorgeous, gorgeous tawny eagle. Look at that massive hooked bill. There's a rapier-like talent. Now, as we drove up, it was on the ground, and we'll have a look now. We're not sure what it caught. Initially, I thought maybe a scrub hare, but now we might even think it might be a tiny baby steenbok. Just trying to have a closer look. So the eagle's a little bit away. I'm just going to drive off the road ever so slightly so we can have a look what that is. I don't want to get too close. I don't want to steal that eagle's meal, although I'm very confident he's going to come back as soon as we move. It's just, unfortunately for him, right next to the main road. If we just get a little bit higher, I might be able to see. How's that, Chandra? There we go. Not getting too close. The eagle's still okay. What is it? I do see a little hoof. It is a baby steenbok. Isn't that incredible? Okay, we're going to move away now, so that eagle can come back and get its hard worked for kill. But that's incredible. So that baby steenbok would have actually been sort of just lying normally under cover when no one can see it. Maybe something spooked the little steenbok and enabled that eagle to see it and swoop down. So there we go. Just going to move a bit further away from the carcass so the eagle feels a bit more relaxed. Eagle. Isn't that spectacular? Now, the main reason I know it's a tawny eagle, let's just turn your head towards us. There we go. Now, the gape, which is its mouth, when he turns his head sideways. Now, a steppe eagle and a tawny eagle can look very, very similar, but this is a tawny. Now, when he has his head sideways like that, you see the gape goes to about halfway through the eye. Now, with a steppe eagle, the gape extends beyond the eye. Okay, so let's leave this eagle alone so it can go back to eating its meal. While we do that, we're going to start heading towards Cheetah Plains. See what adventures are waiting for us down in the east. So let's go back to Taylor and Karula.
It sounds like she is now eating biltong. And if you watch, every now and then she pulls off a couple of pieces that have dried in this lovely weather that we've been having, this hot weather. There we go, a big chunk of biltong. She obviously likes her biltong rare. Now, you hear me talking about biltong. Biltong is a South African delicacy. It's usually dried meat of any sort, typically beef. But we do it with the antelope as well. And now we can really smell the carcass as she's... Oh, wow, can you hear the crunching? Mm-hmm. Listen to that. Oh my goodness, wow. She obviously didn't get taught any table manners, I'm afraid. And she's crunching away, chewing with her mouth wide open. But we don't mind, we get to see those lovely teeth of hers. You see how she keeps staring like that in the distance? So I presume that's where the cubs are. They must be down there somewhere. But she keeps looking over in the same spot all the time. We are so lucky. Can you hear the flies as well as they're buzzing around? There's so many of them. And I cannot believe the balancing act that Karula is doing at the moment. She's got her legs spread out, balancing one on either branch. You can't see it too well. And then she's managing to use one paw to hold on to the carcass. It's quite amazing how they're able to do all of those things and keep it up in the tree. Oh, look at her biting down. So she doesn't seem to be doing the sort of carnassial shear at the moment. Looks like she's biting on the spine itself. Or on the neck vertebrae, perhaps. It's pretty, yes, it looks a bit. Maybe even on the sternum, so sort of the chest bone. It's a bit difficult to see with the way that she's twisting and turning the carcass, but when she lifts it up, I think perhaps it's maybe her chest bone. That's what she's biting on, trying to get the meat off. Here we go. Now she's trying to go in for that carnassial shear. Come on. Wow, and it's lovely golden light that's coming through as well. Remember to take snapshots, everybody. Now, it seems to be quite amazing that we can just sit here and watch this leopard feed in a tree without us really having any impact on her. Now, Zaki was wondering exactly that. Zaki was wanting to know, how on earth are we able to interact with these animals? So I'm not putting it in exactly the same words. How are we able to interact with these animals, and the animals don't realize that could potentially be a threat to her and her cubs? And that's, Zaki, there's no hunting or anything that goes on here. So we as humans, we come around in these big vehicles and we just observe. So the only shooting we're doing is with the cameras. That's it. Now, it's taken many, many, many years for them to become accustomed to us. So it's taken almost over 30 years of interactions, and basically we're habituating the animals, but just to the vehicles. Now, if I were to get out of the vehicle now, she would be very upset. Firstly, she's got an advantage point because she's above us. And secondly, she's on a kill. She's going to act very aggressively towards me. And we won't do that, though. We all keep in our vehicles, and in this particular area is why you have experienced guides taking you around if you are fortunate to come to the Sabi Sands and do a safari here. Everybody's very well trained. So we can read their behavior quite well. And if it were, Zaki, that it seemed as though that female felt a bit threatened by us and she showed us some aggression signs, if it's possible, well, I'd move away completely and just say we can come back another time. She's obviously not feeling our vibe. She feels a bit threatened. And that's how you should do it. We do it a lot, especially with animals like elephants. When they show that they're unhappy with us, we move away completely. There we go. She's got a nice chunk of meat now. She didn't even have to pull that off. It's so soft there. Now those cubs better come quickly, because Karula's eating all the prime bits. And I'm still just checking around, looking over my shoulder, seeing if I can spot the little spotted cats, but I can't just yet. Oh, I can! Oh my goodness! There is one coming up behind us. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. You see where this big tall tree is? To the left. I don't think you can. Maybe. Here we go. Go straight. Go down. Go down. Go to the right. No, I think it's just behind the tree for you. If I go forward slightly, we can change that view. Let me go forward. Got one of the cubs, but I can't see which one it is just yet. That's not good. Sorry, everybody. Wendy's playing games with me. Can you see there now? I think it's going to be difficult. Go a little bit to the right again. Left, sorry, not right. My goodness. Go up. There. You can just see the nose. Very difficult. But there is one of the cubs. Now I wonder why Karula keeps looking off into the distance and calling the opposite way. Maybe she forgot where she left her cubs. I can't tell you exactly who this is. I'm afraid we've got a very, very little visual of this one. But we'll see. It looks quite big. Quite a broad face from what I can sort of see. But possibly it's going to be Hosana. And hopefully Shongile will be close to follow. Now, if it is him, he keeps staring over at Mom. As if he was waiting for her to say, right, it's okay, you can come along now. But nothing just yet. Remember to take lots of screenshots, everybody. So that's exciting. At least they're looking good. They're still looking well fed. Now we've actually got an even better angle of this female. Remember to take screenshots, everybody. I can't stress this enough, because sightings like this don't come around all the time. There's bound to be the days where we're not going to see too much. So make the most of all the wonderful cats, especially while we've got all this dry weather about. All the animals are feeling very stressed, very hungry, and it's a prime opportunity for all the predators to flourish. But when the rains come, the tables are going to turn, the green grass is going to come, and all the herbivores are going to be able to eat their fill and regain their strength. It's also quite difficult for the predators to hide in the green grass. They stand out a little bit more. I can see she's broken off a part of this bushbuck, and you can hear her crunching a little bit there. Now, Kathy, I know you were wondering if Karula eats the bone or does she spit them out. If it's the smaller bits of bone, she'll actually digest them. However, they don't just digest bone very well like hyenas do. The hyenas have got fantastic, strong stomach acids that are able to digest shards of bone. Where's she going to go and stash this? It looks like you're going to eat it there. Maybe a bit easier for her to balance. Sorry, Kathy. So she'll eat those little bones that you saw. That's no problem for her to digest. But a hyena can digest bone shards of up to 9 centimeters in length. So that's really, really big. But unfortunately, Karula is unable to do that. So she'll eat around the big bones. You can hear that crunching quite nicely. No, where did Hosana go to? Sorry, I'm just having a look again over my shoulder. Oh no. I took my eyes off of Hosana for one moment, and now he's disappeared. Perhaps he's gone back up the mound again. Wow. This is amazing. The light, the clouds are sort of opened up a little bit as well, creating those nice bits of golden light coming through the trees. It's quite special. Remember, if you're taking any snapshots, remember to hashtag Safari Live, or you can email them. These are incredible pictures, everybody, to be able to see a leopard now in full view, sitting up on this beautiful tamboti tree. It's very nice, and the light is much better than what it was earlier. I mean, how's that? It doesn't get any better than that, I'm afraid. So you hear me snapping a few pictures as well. It's hard to pass up an opportunity like this. Wow. See, she's licking it now, trying to find another chunk of flesh to tear off. Just having a look again to see if I can see where the cubs went. Nope. Wow. Also getting an opportunity to see her lovely teeth as well. So it's quite fascinating how they eat all this flesh and all these rotting things occasionally, and they still manage to have relatively clean teeth without having to brush them like you and I. And you can see those canines are a little bit blunt on top there. It just shows that she's aging. That's quite normal. The first thing it goes, obviously, as an animal gets older, same as humans, your teeth start to wear down. But they're still nice and big. She can still do her job. She's looking around. Call your cubs again. They want to come. There we go. Wow. This is why, everybody, I have the best job in the world. Anybody that lives in the bush. Ooh, big crunches there. See how she doesn't let the bone get stuck in her throat. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried this, or if you've got dogs at home and you don't feed, or you didn't feed your dogs bones as from a young age. And it's quite amazing to see how you start feeding them bones later in life, and sometimes they don't quite know what to do. And we had one dog, we had an Irish wolfhound. We used to give big bones to occasionally. Like, I mean, when I say big bones, you'd go to the butcher and they'd, give you the female of a cow, something like that, something along those lines. So really, really big bones that they can gnaw on. And she ate it, and there were lots of little little shards of bone coming off. And she actually ended up getting one wedged in the roof of her palate. And I'm pretty sure that was just from inexperience, not really having bones her entire life. And I think it's quite phenomenal how we don't often see the animals with lots of bones stuck in them. I've seen young leopard that are inexperienced and don't quite know how to feed around them, get the occasional one stuck in their mouths, but the adults are so good at finding all the best ways to get all the flesh off without injuring themselves. And that bone can be sharp, especially when she crunches it. I'm sure there's lots of sharp bits there. Look at the light as it's catching her eyes. That is amazing. Watch as I aim my camera to her. Oh, what have you seen? See how she's looking like that? Just looking in the distance to try and figure out what she's looking at. Don't see anything just yet, but her eyesight is much better than mine is. And we're also sitting down in this drainage now. No, she doesn't seem too bothered by it anymore. Perhaps she heard something, and she was just focusing both her ears as well as her eyes. Let me see. I just want to show you something very quickly. I've got a pair of citrus swallowtail butterflies, and they look like they're quite keen to mate. Look at this. I know I'm taking you away from Karula very quickly, but these are beautiful butterflies. There they go. They're quite quick and they're relatively big, but now Off they go. It's hard to keep on them, but you got a very quick view of a lovely citrus swallowtail, which is one of the most amazing butterflies in the bush. And I think it was Joanne. Joanne was wondering if the cubs are still suckling. I'm not 100% sure how old the cubs are, but they look relatively large. Oh, there, one has come back again. And I reckon they look to be about 7 months old, maybe 6 or 7 months old. They're quite big. Just the same, go straight in again. There we go, up. Go up again. No, why can't you see it now? It's just on the, I think it's just behind. Okay, sorry everyone, we can't show you the cubs. Just behind that tree. One has come back again, which is great for us. Now, Joanne, so I presume that they're not suckling anymore. I think they're completely eating meat, but I just need to confirm their age. But it's the same thing with lions. Normally around 5 or 6 months they're getting weaned. And they're starting to mainly just feed solids. I think Karula's now just seen that other cub. Yes, they're here, but I don't know why they don't want to come to you. Call them. Ah, thank you, Louise. Louise says that the cubs are going to be about 8 months old on the 2nd of October. Very nice, date specific. So they have definitely been weaned, and they're just feeding on the carcasses that Mom manages to catch for them. Now, if I was a hyena, and I did see some fresh hyena tracks going up a shortcut Galago, I would be waiting here because Karula's been dropping lots of scraps. There's a tail on the ground. There's a little, I don't know, can you, I don't think you can see down there. Can you see? There we go, there's the tail. And if you go to the left, there's a little scrap that she's just dropped now. And these would be lovely tasty morsels for the hyena. Oh, here comes the cub. Yay! Go on, join Mum. This is turning out to be a fantastic afternoon once again. Downpour Dave, bringing all the luck. Oh my God. It is amazing. Ooh, 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 ooh. What's happening? Look at this interaction. Hello. Yes, I've been looking for you. Oh, wow. Hello, Mom. Thank you so much for all the lovely food that you catch for me. Oh, very clumsy. Yes, it does look like this is Hosanna. Very much look like a boy. I did just get a quick glimpse as he ran up and lifted his tail. Now we are short one more. Come on, call for your other one. Trying to get comfy. Oh, bless you. Not quite as confident as Mom is in the tree. Hang on, maybe you're not. Let's see. Oh, Mom's coming down now. Karula's on her way. I think she's going to look for the other one. She's sort of doing a little bit of a groaning sound. I think it's a bit too far away for you to see. I'm also just trying to double check to see if this is Hosanna. Now, can we maybe zoom in on his rear end? I know this is not the best. No, we can't see it at all. Never mind, we'll get an opportunity. But he should start developing testicles. We should start to see that. All those flies flying away there, covering the carcass. Soon there's going to be maggots all over this carcass. I wouldn't like to stand under the tree with a carcass in it that's filled with maggots. It'll just rain maggots. Oh, careful. Getting too excited about eating and not really watching where you put your foot could be a big mistake. Here we go, we're going to be able to tell now. No, I think it actually, I don't know if it is. I think this could possibly be Shongile. I didn't see testicles now. And in this one, did you see testicles? No. I didn't see testicles. I didn't see a little bulge, unfortunately. So maybe it is Shongile. But can you just sit still for just a few minutes with your bum facing up? Okay, so Louise is saying that this is definitely Hosanna, but shame. Maybe he's a bit slow on the development side. Oh, that's a thin branch that you're on there. No, that's very brave. David, can you have a show everybody, show all the lovely viewers out there how small that branch is? Look at that, it's like a tightrope act. Very, very flexible. I'd be careful. You're going to fall out the tree or you're going to drop the carcass and Mum is not going to be very impressed with you if you do that. And that just shows you where the inexperience is. And this is the problem that Mom has to worry about all the time is she spends most of the, well, quite a bit of effort trying to get that carcass up a tree, and she wedges it in nicely, and she manages to eat and tug on it and break bits of bone off and no problem. When the little ones come through, they get a bit excited, as we just saw, and they start pulling and dragging, don't know quite where to put their feet. And then they could lose it. Possibly some hyenas will come through tonight. That would be fantastic. Like I said, there's lots of scraps for them on the ground waiting. Got a nice bit of flesh they're munching away. They're getting big though. I'm going to have to just jump on the radio in a few moments, because I know there's another vehicle that would like to come and join. So let me just chat to Mike very quickly. Mike Taylor, you're more than welcome to make your approach. Ooh, okay. While I while I try and control this leopard sighting very quickly, Brent has got another spotted cat on Cheetah Plains.
Sorry about that. There he is. He's across our boundary, unfortunately, but it is Mr. Q. Let me just try and find you another. Let me just go forward a skosh. Sorry about all the when we start the car. But he is. How's that, Chandra? There we go. Okay, so it is quarantine. I know a firm favourite of a lot of you, and I have heard that over there somewhere he's killed one of the rarest antelopes in the Sabi Sands. He has caught a reedbuck. I don't know if he's put the kill in a tree. I can't really see. But let's watch where he goes. He is definitely one of my favorite cats. And when I started at Safari Live, we were lucky enough to spend an incredible amount of time with him and his brother. Yeah, I'm just going to wait to see if... Johnny, I want to have a look in that tree over there. There's a big marula. It looks like that might be a carcass on the branch. So just to the right of where we were looking. Let me just go back. Sorry. I can't see anything. A little bit to the right. No, I think it's just a crisscrossing of branches. Okay, he's moving past that vehicle. Let's go forward. Oh, no, I'm going to have to go back. Hi, Susan. Susan is wondering why he's called Quarantine. And that's not because he was in quarantine like Sindile. So what happened is after he became independent from his mother, and you've seen his mother today, it's Karula. He spent an incredible amount of time on an open area, which is just behind the Djuma lodge, and that area is called the quarantine clearings. Unfortunately, I think we're not going to see much more of a quarantine in a clearing as he moves deeper into coral. So, you see him, Johnny? He's to the right behind the vehicle. Over to there, and he was moving through there. So unfortunately we can't see where the carcass is, and it looks like it might not be in a tree yet. But anyway, always nice to know that he's doing well, and he's got himself some meat to eat, a young quarantine. So Susan, as I was saying, so there's this big open area where we have fireside chats right behind the Djuma lodges, and that is called quarantine. So back in the 50s, it was a quarantine area for cattle, and he just spent so much time in those clearings and around the edge of those clearings that's how he got his name. Now I came dashing down to Cheetah Plains because I heard the report of another spotted cat, the Cheetah, but it looks like they've already crossed Cheetah Plains and are on their way to Torchwood. Now I have some very, very interesting news, and it is a combination news. So there's good news and there's bad news. So you let me know, what do you want to hear first, the bad news or the good news? Hashtag Safari Live or questions at WildEarthTV. What do you want to hear first, the good news or the bad news? They're crowned lapwings. They're quite happy that there's been some rain. There's some more insects out there for them to hunt down. You see that very distinct white crown. Whoa! Lapwings keeping Gendre on his toes. Now after this green flash, I'm hoping to find another bird of the short grass plains. One I've only seen once on the live drives, and that, whoa, right, hovering right next to us is a Temix corsa. Okay, bye lapwings. Oh, that one got one. He's got something. He just caught something in the road. Oh, he swallowed it already. Greedy guts. Off they go. Oh, they're having a little battle. Whoa, nice work, Chandra. So that looks like two males fighting over this little patch of open ground. And they're incredibly quick, as you can see. Chandra is doing a sterling job keeping up with them as they battle through the sky. Oh, he sidestepped Chandra. Here we go. Oh, and they're using the wind as well, which is making it those drops and falls even quicker. Okay, let's stop torturing Gendre. Oh, there we go. They're going to stop torturing Gendre and land. And let's carry on towards the Cheetah Plains path. Okay, so it sounds like everyone would like to hear the bad news first and then the good news. So the bad news is I can confirm 100% now, because I've heard various different reports about the stick cubs. There are only two left. Not one, not four, not three, but two. So one of the older ones and one of the younger ones. And that is the bad news. There are only two of those cubs left. But the good news. John, do you know you don't know the good news. So I heard the good news in my ear. And am I going to tell you this? Or I'm going to keep it for a little bit. No, let's tell you. Okay, so the oldest Styx female has been given birth to new cubs. Yay! So it is what happens out here. As soon as she had lost cubs, she would have produced more. So apparently she gave birth. They found the den. They're not sure how many cubs are there yet. As soon as I hear, I'll let you know. And they're estimated about 2 weeks old, so still really, really tiny. And she has used the Mawati River as a den site again, but below Djuma, so outside of our Traverse area. Okay, so there we go, good news. Okay, we're coming up to the open plains. Not a wildly beast or zebra in sight. Of course, I always like checking in on my mate Gnorm in the canoe. But he normally chills out a bit further to the south. Now, we've seen one of Karula's adult children today, and I know you've seen one of her current set of children, so let's go look at the other.
So Hosanna over here is having an absolute field day, as you can see. Oh wow, that's beautiful. And pulling this bushbuck all over the show. Grabbing it by the head, dragging it up, trying to reposition it all. Careful, don't fall. Wow. Putting on an absolute show for us. And now for you too, that you're back with us. And that's another leopard I haven't seen, or I believe you got a quick glimpse of, which was Quarantine. And I believe he's a beautiful boy, and also the offspring of Karula. So that's very nice. So I'm going to have to keep my ears open, perhaps for tomorrow morning, and maybe I'll be able to go around that side just to have a look and see if I don't get an opportunity to see him. It's nice to be taking a little break from the lions. We all absolutely love the lions, but we love the leopards too. And the leopards have been a bit shy the last few days, so the more we can see, the better. Now, you are hiding your face from us. Bring your face over. There we go. Just sneaking an eye. That's awesome. Very nice. Now, while we weren't with you, we had some Inyala and Impala sneak past the back of the vehicle, and they did so very quietly, that Karula only caught them as they were disappearing off into the thicket, and she looked very keen and very interested, but then she decided nope, she was going to let it go, and then she sat down again. Now she's just watching over the area, watching her little one eat. And we're still waiting for Shongile to come around. I think you can see Karula very nicely there. Good afternoon, Heather from Minnesota. So, you're wanting to know this afternoon, do big cats have taste buds? I'm not 100% sure. And you made a very good point there. You say, how can they go and eat on a fresh carcass and then come back a few days later, or find a rotting carcass and feed on that? Now, I don't think they possibly have taste buds like we as humans have taste buds, where we have taste buds sweet, that pick up either sweet and salty or sour. I think it's slightly different. I'm going to have to do quite a bit of research about that. I haven't ever read anywhere about big cats' taste buds. So that was a fantastic question, Heather. And I will get back to you. So keep watching. Possibly tomorrow morning, once I've had an opportunity to do a bit of research, I shall let you know. So make sure that you're watching, and then you can hear the answer. But like I said, I don't think it's quite like our taste buds. I think very much different. But with them being able to feed on rotting meat, that doesn't really have too much to do with their taste buds. That's just got to do with their stomach acids and the fact that they're able to digest a variety of different meats. and that the rotting stuff doesn't bother them too much. We would probably die if we had to go and eat on a 4-day-old carcass. We definitely have a bacterial infection that I don't think the hospitals could even save us. Some foul bacteria that starts to form on the carcass. Imagine eating all the fly eggs. Oh, no. This light is just beautiful now. So speaking of all the different flies and larvae, we know that they get lots of ectoparasites, but what parasites affect them inside their bodies? And Kathy wants to know, do the big cats die from tapeworms like domestic cats can? I'm sure they can. If they get an infestation of worms, and particularly a tapeworm, which is the nasty one, I definitely think that they could die from something like that. But it would have to be a serious infestation. Look at that leg. That's struggling, every now and then struggling to find a spot for his foot. I'm just going to zoom in quickly, everybody, and see something. Such amazing light. I can't get over it. Oh, no, you, oh my goodness, facing right towards us now with that bushback's head. No, it's not going to go over there, I'm afraid. Oh, what was that? Maybe another vehicle. I just heard a branch cracking. Yes, I think it could possibly be another vehicle because I can see Hosanna's looking over in the distance. It's just a bit windy, so it's muffling the sound quite a bit. I can't really hear what's on the other side or see what's on the other side of this bank. Copy. Thanks, Mike. I'm down in the drainage. Mike's just joined us. And I can just see the big smiles of all his guests. They must be so excited. Possibly it's their first safari and they've never seen a leopard. What a way to start your day if you're coming on safari. And for those of you who don't get the opportunity to come out to South Africa, at least you've got us here on Safari Live to spend every single day watching these beautiful animals from the comfort of your home. But I suspect Karula and Hosanna have eaten away quite a bit. I think they might finish this quite soon. Well, I'm just trying to have a look at Karula again. You can see her just lounging out, spread out. She's got her belly nice and full and still quite warm. Now, poor Karula is having to hunt for obviously 2 cubs. It can be quite tiring having to worry about hunting, not just for yourself, but for your cubs too. And Rob, good afternoon. I know that you were wondering, at what age are Karula's cubs going to attempt to make their first kill? And what do I think they're going to hunt for the first time? Now, Mom is going to start bringing back some of these antelope that she's catching, and she's not going to quite kill them properly. She's going to bring them back half killed so that these youngsters can learn how to suffocate. Now, I've seen it a few times with leopards when they've done this, and the cubs have been close by. I actually saw it with one of the leopards called Little Bush down in the southern sector of the Sabi Sands with her cub, but she hasn't got a name just yet. She's also actually about their age, maybe a little bit older, where she caught a steenbok. And she didn't really kill it, she just held it by the throat and she walked with it. Obviously a steenbok is quite a small antelope. And brought it back to the den site and then let the little one actually play with it and suffocate it, which was quite amazing to watch. So I reckon they're going to start paying a lot of interest in all the little birds that we see. So from the crested francolins, that's going to be a good thing, and guinea fowl, to try and learn to hunt and have a bit of fun and a bit of practice. But if they can learn to catch something like a steenbok to start off with, that'd be great. Something small, something easy. I think it'll be a bit too much for them if they try and go for something like a big impala ram. I think that's a bit out of their sort of skill range. Perhaps something small. And hopefully we get to see some of that. Yesterday afternoon it was quite nice. We were watching the lions and they're finally starting to show some interest in the birds. We saw them stalking some turtle doves. So perhaps we're going to start seeing things like that. Or even if they do spot a herd of impala and they just sort of run towards it and just learn from experience that no, you have to stalk. You can't just go streaming on in. And that's what we've got to look forward over the next few months. All these things are going to start to develop and their behaviors are going to start to change. And isn't it amazing that some of you have watched the Karula's 2 cubs or her cubs over the last few years growing up and seeing where they move to? I think that is very special. The most famous animals in the world. Hello, Cameron. So, Cameron wants to know, firstly I must say, Cameron, you are 6. Welcome, I'm glad you're watching us, and keep watching us. Now, Cameron, you're wanting to know, does the female cub, does the girl cub, ever get an opportunity to come through and eat in the kill in the tree? Yes, she does. However, we're not sure where she is at the moment. Possibly she's still full. Maybe she ate a little bit earlier. And that's what happens, is when there's food available, they don't have to eat at set times all the time. If you're feeding hungry, well, then you can get up and you can come and have something to eat. It's sort of like at home, Cameron, when you're feeling thirsty. I'm sure you just go to the fridge and you get some juice and you drink it, or you get some water. You don't always have to ask Mom to do it for you. So that's exactly what happens with the leopard. So maybe she's eaten already and now she's sleeping. But unfortunately, the boys, they need to eat lots. Sort of like my brother. When my dad would do the grocery shopping, and you'd come home, and you'd think he hadn't even been out yet to do the grocery shopping because he would have eaten everything. So Hosanna is a growing man. He needs to eat his fill so he can become big and strong like his dad. Oh, careful. So as we're sitting here watching him, we're definitely seeing an improvement in him sort of balancing and able to pull and drag that carcass around. He's getting much better. So there's improvement every minute. But you see, he does get a bit excited every now and then and lose his footing. I just hope he doesn't fall, because luckily it's not too far away, so I suspect he will be fine. And I wonder if it's true with leopards and the other big cats, because I know domestic cats, they say they always land on their feet when they fall. Now, I wonder if that's true with the leopards. See, they're biting on the face now, sort of eating the cheeks, and then possibly moving on towards the neck. But you're going to have to pull the hair out there. Mom didn't do that for you. But perhaps because he's still young, he might just try and bite through it. Yes, he's being quite lazy. See how he's just going for the parts that are already stripped, although you pulling any hair out, or you just biting through it and eating a bit of the hair. And now he's got it wrapped around another branch, so he's going to find it quite difficult to pull it around. But possibly it's a good strategy, because he's going to have a bit of leverage now. The carcass is not going to move around as easily as it was. It's wedged in quite nicely. I don't know if you can hear him crunching away. The wind is definitely picking up. We're even starting to feel a breeze now down in this drainage, and we weren't feeling a breath of wind earlier. Wonder where Shongile is hiding. Would be nice if she came out. Reaching for the other side now. No, you've eaten that end already. There's nothing left there. I bet it must sound so quiet for all of you. Possibly you can hear the wind as it's gusting through here, and the odd orange-breasted bushshrike calling coffee, tea, and me in the distance, and Hosanna crunching on some bones. Are you going to jump? What is your next move? I think he's confused because he has sort of tied this bushback in a knot. He's licking. I can't see what he's doing too well. He's chewing some part of the bushback now. We haven't seen him get too many big chunks of meat off. Oh! You ripped something open. They've actually eaten quite a large portion of this bushback. Now that it's been turned around quite a bit, you can see it a little bit better. Possibly they're going to finish it tonight and then move off by tomorrow morning. Hopefully they won't go too far, with Karula showing a little bit of interest like she did in those Inyala. That's a great sign. Maybe something like that happens again, and then she'll actually make an attempt and try and kill something. It's a nice tree to stash a kill in. Out of the wind, good fork in it to wedge whatever she may catch. As we can see, she's wedged this bushbuck in it nicely, and nice horizontal branches, so there is a lot of space for them to move around on and feed off of. And great for us because there's not lots of branches in the way too. That's just amazing. That light is just getting better and better by the minute. What are you eating? The neck? No, it's a leg. Lots of meat there. Come on, use your paws. Hold it down and then pull. That meat looks nice and soft, but his teeth aren't as big and strong as Mom's teeth are just yet. They're still tiny in comparison, as you can see every now and then when he opens his mouth. I suppose it's a little bit more difficult to pull any flesh off. But look at that. There we go. That's a great amount of meat there. Trying that carnassial shear, not quite getting it right. See the little teeth there. Very small. They've got lots of growing to do. So Atif is wondering this afternoon which the cats are the most dominant between a cheetah, a leopard, and a jaguar. Now, unfortunately, Atif, we don't get any jaguar in this part of the world. However, jaguars are slightly larger than leopards. So in terms of who is bigger and stronger, it would have to be a jaguar. But here in Africa, out of the two that you mentioned, the cheetah and the leopard, I'd have to say the leopard. But if you are comparing all the big cats that we have here in Africa, the lion definitely wins. The lion is definitely the king of the savanna bush. Much larger. They also live in family groups. They live in prides. And they're the only sociable cat in the world, which makes them so successful. Leopards, cheetah, jaguars, tigers, they're all solitary. And obviously it's quite difficult if you don't have others to help defend you or help hunt. Life is very tough. You're constantly looking over your shoulder and you've got no one else to help you look around and look for potential danger. Here we go, finally got through to some good chunks. But still struggling. Karula would be eating this with ease. Ooh, smell it again now. It's really beautiful light. I can't resist taking one more photo. Seems as it's the first time I've seen these lovely leopards, or this leopard cub. But I wish you would look at me again. I've got to be so quick to get the right moment. Just catching that lovely light as it hits Hosanna's eyes. Now we're unfortunately not going to be able to stay here forever, as much as I would love to sit here for the entire afternoon. I know that there are some other guides that would like to come and see Karula and her lovely cubs, but we can probably sit here for a little bit more longer.